Welcome to So Very Easy. My name is Laura, and let's make some pillowcases. What's really nice about this, other than being really quick and easy, it has a little flap inside, and that's going to cover the pillow so you never see the pillow. I like to use 3 different fabrics. A nice light color for the body, a little accent piece, and the main cuff. That accent piece I pull over to the inside. There are 3 main pillow sizes. You have standard, queen, and king. And this is going to be able to change size depending on what you need. So you're going to be able to custom size it to your pillow when you're done. The pillowcase is going to consist of that inside cover, your big cuff, the band, and 2 pieces, one for the front and one for the back. The width must remain the same for all of your pieces, but the width can change depending on how much fabric you have. I have 19.5 inches, so you can go anywhere from 19, 20, 21 inches. I want to use up fat quarters, so the pillow might change in size slightly, but it's not going to make that much of a difference as long as all of the pieces are that same size. The difference are going to be how long you cut them. That inside cover and that big cuff, cut them at 12.5 inches. That works to be a nice size. And then that little decorative band, you can cut anywhere between 2 to 2.5 inches. This is a great time to use up some of that bigger leftover fabric. And for the top of the pillow, you're going to need whatever that width is, plus 30 inches. The back, again, same width, but this time it's going to be 36 inches. To start with, we're going to use that front cuff, the big trim, and your front piece, which is the one at 30 inches. So we're going to start with the front of the pillow. So this is the pillow front at 30 inches. We have that 19.5 inches here. We're going to start with that little decorative piece. So the pillow is right side up. Take this and fold it in half and press it so that the wrong sides are touching. And that raw seam is going to match along that edge. I'm going to take the cuff and I'm going to have the right side facing down. So both these sides are right sides. Match your seams and put in about 4 or 5 pins because we're going to readjust those pins later, so you don't need to put a lot in. When you've temporarily pinned that, we're going to flip it. So take the entire case and flip it over. We're going to take that and we're going to fold it so that we make a little folded piece right in the center of that big cuff. So nothing is going to be in this area where we need to stitch. I like to start by folding it in half so it's pretty much in the middle of that cuff. It doesn't have to be exact because it's not going to matter. We're just holding it out of the way. Fold it again and again until you get this nice little channel. And keeping this out of the way, just take that and move it right to that edge. Match up that edge and re-pin. And I don't mind adding the extra pins here because I want to hold those layers together. Before you move it, put a couple of pins to hold that little roll out of the way. And just using a straight stitch, you can stitch the 1/4 inch all the way down. When you've stitched that 1/4 inch, now take out those pins. Now just take this and pull it right side out. There's lots of room because that's a nice big cuff. And that pillow front is going to come free. This is the back side of the pillow, and when you flip it over, you have the front with that nice decorative trim. So you have no exposed seams on the front or the back. Just take this and press that going up to the top, and take that back and press it going up to the top. The front of that case is now done. Let's work on the back. We have 2 pieces of fabric left over. The back, which is 36 inches, and that inside cuff, which is 12.5 inches. Take one edge and do a rolled seam. A rolled seam is very simple. You're going to take the fabric, you're going to turn it once and press it, and then turn it a second time and press it. So you have no exposed seams. You're going to stitch right along that fold. And that is that 19.5-inch measurement. And it doesn't matter how big that rolled hem is. Whatever you're comfortable sewing with is going to work out fine. This gives you lots of room. Take that nice long back, which is 36 inches. We're going to match up the one edge. So this fabric, the good side, is facing up. And we're going to take the good side of that little flap and face it down. And stitch a 1/4 inch. When the 1/4 inch is done, we need to press it twice. The first time, we're going to take that pillow and press that seam up into that cuff. Then you're going to take that little fold and you're going to press it down on top of the body. And you're going to use that seam allowance as a guide. If you just take that fabric, you're going to be able to pull it and it's going to stop right there at that seam. So when you press it, you're going to have a little piece of that fabric poking out on the back. And that seam allowance is inside going up. You can now see how pretty that edge is going to be. The pillow back is done. The front is done. All we need to do is sew it together. Lay the pillow back out with the right sides facing up. And you're going to be able to see that press line right there. And match up the front so both good sides are together. And you're going to use that fold line as a placement line for this edge. So you're not matching it up to the stitching line. You're going to pull it up and have it match that ironed edge. You now are going to take that flap and you're going to fold it against that press line. Match up both of the edges and pin it down. So that front is now encased in between the back and that flap. You can see there's your seam allowance sticking up. You're going to continue pinning, matching up all of the edges. And if your bottom doesn't match up exactly, that's okay. We can trim that down. The edges now need to be finished. And if you happen to have a serger, this is a perfect time to use it. If not, you can just do a zigzag stitch and you're going to do it on the 3 edges and finish it. Now you've done no stitching up at the top here. When the edges have been finished, we're going to take that blue flap and we're going to pull it towards the back. So you're just going to take that flap and just turn it right to the back. Pull that a little bit and that corner is going to come in. When you open it up, you're going to see you have that nice little blue trim. And just stitch right along that seam line and that's going to hold it in. So that row of stitching you'll be able to see on the back side. Your pillowcase is done. So this is what you're looking at. You have that large cuff, that little decorative piece, the good side of the front. And that back is all one piece except that little trim up the top. And that inside flap is right there along the back. Let me show you some standard pillowcases that I bought in the store. This is the standard pillowcase. It's 28 inches. The queen is 32 inches and the king is about 38 inches. The pillowcase that we have just made fits that very large king size. So if you have smaller pillows, you're going to be able to take that and make it smaller. However, I normally don't cut the pillowcase smaller. I fold it smaller when I put the pillow inside. So you're going to put the pillow in the pillowcase just like you would normally. The difference is you're going to have this little back piece. You're going to be able to take that and slip the pillow underneath that little flap. So now when you look inside, that pillow is under that little flap. It has a really pretty look. If you have a pillow that is a lot shorter and you don't want to trim this down, it's really easy to take care of that. So you're going to just take that and tuck it right in underneath. And by tucking that in towards the back any pillow that you put in here is now going to fit. So it looks like a custom-made pillowcase. You have a little bit of room here so that that flap peeks through. And even when you turn it over, you have a nice clean finish, and that little tuck is right in there. You now have beautiful pillowcases. There are so many different fabrics that you can use for these pillows. There are sports fabric and fruits and vegetables if you have someone who loves to be in the kitchen. And of course, children's prints. So many great fabrics. I do hope you give this a try. It is a quick and easy project, and that little bonus of having that pillow covered inside always makes them nice and fresh looking. Thank you for joining me today on Sew Very Easy. Feel free to subscribe, and as always, come on back. Let's see what we're sewing next time in the sewing room. Bye for now.